Hello there. Thank you for listening to another episode of Bloodshot Eyes and Sore Thumbs podcast. Another reason to stay up. Me and Scott and Brent, we're all here. We come together every week to talk about video games and the tech culture and the things that we love. How you guys doing today?
I'm pretty good. Got a full belly.
Full belly?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Eating some old chicken wings.
Chicken? What kind?
Boneless, number one. I was feeling lazy today. Some little jerk sauce and some spicy garlic.
Did
Jerk
he say
sauce?
jerk sauce?
That's fitting for him.
Stuff is delicious.
Well, my name is Scott, and I'm here to say a lady really messed up my haircut today.
Oh, no. It's like one of my biggest fears, man. What happened?
You know, it's a good old $12 haircut. She just kept cutting and kept cutting and kept cutting, and then it was just like, you know what? Go ahead and just shave it all off. I'd like to go home, and we can try this again next month.
Ooh.
Shave it all off?
For the most part, man.
Whoa! like shave it off. I'm sorry, this probably isn't a conversation for the show. It's just breaking news. I thought you had one of those old barbers, like with the leather strap that you've been going to since you were like 5 and sitting on a rocking horse to get your hair cut and stuff.
I have
Not as
been.
an adult, but, you know.
For the most part. You know, they use the warm shaving cream and everything. You know, it's nice.
Yeah.
But no, I've been going to a new place since I've moved, so it's been pretty dicey. You know, about 75% of the time it's okay, but once every now and then you'll come out looking like you were about before your first basketball game.
Just your head was assaulted by scissors, huh?
You got like the Ed Harris in
Oh,
Enemy
yeah.
at the Gates close.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh man.
And it's kind of bad because my beard is now longer than the hair on my head. And
So you got like
I'm
a
not-
Walter White thing going.
yeah,
Like-
dude, I'm not really one to pull that off.
Hey, you know what? Kratos pulled it off in God of War.
Ooh,
Something
you need to get me
there's
some
something
chest
you
hat.
can aspire to. Steve Austin did it every day, bud.
Ooh, good call. I need to get me some
Yeah.
Coors Light. Stand on the ropes.
And we're back with the Feel Good About Your Haircut podcast.
Yeah.
Hey.
Brent, how's your hair?
Short, growing back from the last time I cut it myself after a few too many bourbons and just kind of shaved it all off one day.
Yeah, that's the one when you were looking all Adolf as hell walking into work.
Yeah.
Like you felt all violated,
I mean-
sitting in the corner of the shower, just shaving your head.
No, more just, I don't know, patchy and unhappy.
Oh, so like
Well-
a 21 Pilots music video.
I don't know what that means, but sure.
Well, rest assured, it's edgy.
Oh,
And here at Edgy Stances,
right.
we...
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Adolf and stuff, we'll get into some news.
Ooh.
And we heard some news from Activision. I'm going to let y'all take this because I was never a big Call of Duty fella. Don't get mad at me. Listen to the news.
No, it's
Continue,
fine.
guys.
Let's hop in our boats and storm the beaches.
No.
Oh, but as the good guys,
No.
though.
Yeah.
Good guys,
on the,
yeah,
on the good
yeah,
side
totally.
of war.
Well, the good guys in this situation are Activision, and they're supposed to be coming on, is it Wednesday with the live
26.
feed as to...
Yeah, they throughout the past couple weeks, some information on the new Call of Duty game has started to leak out. So they just hopped out and kind of confirmed that it is going to be called Call of Duty World War II. And it is coming this fall. It's being done by Sledgehammer Games. You guys will remember their first crack at Call of Duty was Advanced Warfare a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That was the one with the exosuits, and Kevin Spacey was the main
Dude,
antagonist.
He was great. He was great in that game. Whatever people want to say about Advanced Warfare, I really like Kevin Spacey in that game.
Totally. It was a really cool fit and like a neat actor to come in and give a lot of personality to a character like that.
Oh, he could be so evil.
Ooh, I know.
Who was he in that game? I didn't play that. Was he the main protagonist?
Antagonist. Yeah, he was kind of running the corporation that was starting like a private military, Atlas. And his son was like your partner. And
Okay.
I'm a little hazy. It's been years, but his son dies or something like that.
Yeah,
and
he had a
kinda-
justifiable vendetta against, I think, the government. Military.
Yeah, kind of turned him and got out of hand. Those exosuits were like a big part of his ploy.
Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, so those guys are. This is their second. That was their first Call of Duty that they got to make when Activision switched to the 3 studios, Treyarch and Infinity Ward. Now Sledgehammer. So this is their second one coming out, and yeah, it's going to be World War II. We don't know much more about that, but they did say that they were going back to their roots, and World War II is definitely where the franchise started. Yeah.
So
I mean, go ahead, Brent.
I was just going to ask. Is it confirmed it's called Call of Duty World War II? It's not the second World at War?
Yeah, it's Call of Duty WW2.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, it's not a sequel to World at War, to my knowledge.
Which is kind of weird because I thought...
Well, what's DICE going to do for the next game?
Yeah.
Battlefield 1.1.
Yeah.
More battles.
Battlefield World War I plus a day after? I don't know. No.
We'll see more on Wednesday. They're going to be... is it on Twitch that they're going to do it? Or just
I believe so. I think it's going to be kind of simulcast around everywhere. So if you want it, just go look at any of their handles and you'll be able to find the links. So,
speaking of stuff coming out soon, Prey's getting closer and closer and closer. As some Xbox vets sitting around these laptops here. What do y'all? Did you ever play the original? You didn't have much of a choice if you had a 360 around lunchtime. Launch time. I think I said lunchtime.
Yeah, that's real.
There wasn't a whole lot going on.
You know, I really tried it out on my lunch break. You know, it was cool. No, so I never played the original one on the 360, but I do remember the second one being teased, and I remember that getting canceled. So
they drug that out forever too. It was just canceled in like 2014. The first one was out in 2005 or 2006. Man, I really shouldn't be saying dates without Google open up in front of me.
But yeah, and anyways, the new one coming out on May 5th, I believe, looks really cool. Some interesting concepts, real sci-fi stuff, you know.
Is it supposed to be scary like Dead Space, you think? Because Prey was a little bit on the jumpy side. I mean, you guys never played it?
No.
It's got like Cherokee spirits and aliens all in the same packaging.
I've seen it.
That's cool.
It's really spans the metaphysical spectrum as far as video game experience.
This new one looks
I can dig
like
it.
more psychological opposed to like jumpy, gross looking monster kind of scary though, right? Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, I agree with you, and especially reading about a lot of the properties that this is a lot of cutting room floor type stuff. I don't know if that's the right term. But, Scott, you've done more reading on this than I have. I'm under the impression that it's just a bunch of owned property, and it's like, what are we going to do with this? Kind of like a Big Hero 5 or Big Hero 6. What was that movie called?
Big Hero 6, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's do something with this thing that we own, like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, so this is being done by Arcane under Bethesda, the guys that did the original Dishonored. And so in an interview, Bethesda basically said that, we had this IP in Prey, but we didn't know what to do with it. We had this cool, like, sci-fi psychological game coming out of Arcane, so they were like, you know what? Let's just scratch everything that we did with Prey before. Let's start it over. Let's slap it on this game that we're working on, kind of redo some things. And now it's all ready to come out, and it looks really cool. I looked a little... more in-depth earlier this week, and so it seems like you're playing as this guy Morgan, which is a cool way to name the character because you can play as a male or a female and still be this Morgan Yu.
Morgan Yu, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but you're on the space station kind of being attacked or
harassed
with aliens.
It's a station that has a spiritual callback. They name it the same station from the original game. It's a base of, it's your basic storyline of you fight the aliens, but you can only beat the aliens with pieces of the aliens.
Yeah. So I saw one of the big mechanics was like your RPG style like progression, like your skills and points. You choose whether to put them into human powers or to alien powers.
Oh.
And if you kind of focus on the alien tree, you actually will become more and more alien.
Is this the Lost that I was reading about?
What do you mean? Or go on.
They call it you can forsake your humanity, so to speak, and become one of the capitalize the lost.
Yeah, and apparently if the aliens see you becoming more and more alien, they have the potential to call this like nightmare ghost to come hunt you and execute you, which seems scary. That seems like some Dead Space stuff to me.
Ooh, I always hated that chasing you mechanic, like like Resident Evil Nemesis.
Yeah.
3, and that big fucker who would just like ruin your concentration and day and just peace in general.
Yeah,
and just like bust into the room at the worst possible time.
just hear him stomping on the floor above you, and you know it's him, and your palms start to sweat.
It's like, I don't want to open this door.
You just know.
Not at all. Well, at least you always had a good, 2 minutes of loading time.
Yeah, right.
Get your stuff together.
Man, this.
And then if you always wanted to go back through the door, it didn't like open from the other side or anything thorough like that.
Man, this door
give
takes
yourself another 2 minutes.
forever to walk through.
Yeah.
But all that being said about Prey, it does look really cool. It looks like it has some Bioshocky vibes to it too.
Yeah.
So, definitely keep my eyes peeled on that one.
Yeah, running off the old Cry engine too. I read.
Sexy.
Oh man, I hope I'm right with that.
Well, I think CryEngine went away,
It's CryEngine.
but is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to fact check myself. Keep yourselves busy.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia 2017 Prey video game.
Fair
page.
enough.
Crytek. Oh no, CryEngine. Yeah,
CryEngine.
swish.
There you go. I know
All right.
Crytek closed this year, so
Yeah.
things like Star Citizen that were using Crytek moved over to Amazon's Lumberyard, which apparently is kind of built off the same tech. So I wonder if that might be a move they make too as well.
Yep. Other news and games that are yet to come out. Well, boys, I'm going to take personal responsibility for the hype train that I built up over Prepare to Dine. Because Samsonite, Slappy.
We were way off.
What's its name? We were way... Oh my gosh, we were off. Code Vein, vampires and shit. Yeah.
So this is coming from the teases of the Prepare to Dine from old Bando Namco, right?
Yeah.
Bando Namkai.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
No, so break
Get your
this down
shots
for me,
in.
Jacob. What's going on with this one?
Well, turns out it has nothing to do with Dark Souls. It's just a troll for sure to bring hype to their next property without Miyazaki's presence. That being said, though, they are, from what I've read, which isn't a whole lot, the information was very limited, and so I can't, you come across a lot of sources that just end up saying the same thing. They're vampires. They live off blood. It is, they have big old eyeballs because it's anime.
Yeah.
And, why can't I find the makers? Help me out with who's developing this game. Somebody, please.
I got you.
They were the guys that did the God Eater franchise.
But I forgot their names, and I feel terrible about it because I deleted it right in front of me in the middle of talking. Anyway, sorry, audience.
It's okay.
God
We're not
Eater's a little.
Japanese.
They're a little, on the intense side. Is a game that started up for the PSP and got its remakes, a couple remakes on consoles, and they bring a lot of that to. They call it an RPG that's the punishing style, grueling style of how Dark Souls was. To quote an article that I read, he called it anime Bloodborne. The entire article, which is pretty snarky, and I don't want to take responsibility for that. For that little punchline there, but it did kind of have that look about it, and the screenshots themselves looked awesome.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
To be honest, yeah,
There's some cool art behind it. There's no denying that. There's almost like a mechanical vibe to these vampires. Like there's a lot of metal and like sharpness to everything.
it's kind of like a organic. Reading more about it, these weapons that you use and such, it's kind of what we were just talking about. Prey. It's kind of like from District 9. There are aliens or monsters. You need to use weaponry based on these aliens or monsters to stop
Fight
them.
fire with fire.
And yeah, but if it's got that grueling style of play that I'm getting better at, I find out that I used to like to just breeze through these games, but I'm starting to appreciate really a lot more effort put into
Learning
stuff.
to love it. Learning to love the Dark Souls kind of vibes. Yeah, I mean, and I also take blame for getting the hype up just because, I don't know, I thought
Well, they knew what they were
Yeah.
doing, old bando.
Oh, yeah.
Them old dirty bandos. Y'all knew what
Bando
you were
Nam
doing,
Kazooie.
playing with our emotions. Yeah, but I mean,
And a beautiful trailer.
I'm definitely excited for it. I'm excited to see what the gameplay is.
You're excited? All out? That's good because
Yeah.
it's actually getting an Xbox One release.
Cool. And I mean, so
Yeah.
the advertising did exactly what it should have did. Got me all excited thinking it's Dark Souls. It's not, but if I didn't see hashtag prepare to dine, this probably would have went completely under my radar, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be some reason they want the Dark Souls and Bloodborne crowd to look at this game. If nothing else. They use this tagline like "Prepare to Dine." They want you to look at it for some reason.
And it worked, and I'm ashamed about it, but it worked.
Feel dirty.
Damn bando got me again.
Well, another reason that I'm looking forward to it, and I don't know, I'm gonna find some way to. I hope I like it because I really want to give it a try. The reason being is it's being run with the Unreal 4 engine.
Yeah.
And that list of games utilizing that on the Xbox is pretty short. And I'm looking forward to seeing this new engine. I mean, Gears of War 4 and Numa, that puzzle game we talked about a couple episodes ago, are the only two that really come to my mind besides Fable Legends, but that was canceled. That was supposed to be rocking the Unreal 4 tech.
I think Rocket League uses it. Yeah.
What? I thought it was Havoc.
I don't think so. Goodness, why are we doing this to ourselves?
Yeah, exactly. This is a ballpark that, different sport. Don't know how to talk.
Unreal.
Anyway, prepare to dine. You got us. Okay? You got
Good
us.
job.
Thanks. Are you happy now?
Congratulations, marketing department.
No, that's real. Well,
Brent.
Jacob, we were talking earlier this week, and you said that you had a chance to maybe go get a Nintendo Classic. Were you successful in your mission?
Nope.
Oh.
Not at all.
Well,
Woke
there
up
it is.
early, tried to get there early, and it was first come, first serve, and they were giving out tickets. And it turns out they started handing out tickets at 8 in the morning. We got there at 9, and they only had 7.
Oh.
And I'm really angry. I'm very upset, and I don't think I'm going to buy a Nintendo product for the rest
I was
of my
going to
life.
say, Nintendo just
I am
knocking out the
tired of
park
this.
yet again.
Well,
Especially this stuff with the amiibos and how much they're trying to charge kids and stuff now. I am sick of this.
Whoa.
Could I maybe interest you in maybe the Super Nintendo Classic?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe if I'll buy it and then I'll bust it open and grab the sharpest piece and cut my own throat.
Jesus.
If I can't find a knife, I'll buy another Nintendo product. Cause
I bet you Nintendo manufactures their plastic to just turn into dust if you break it.
It's all covered with mace, so we don't eat it. There's got to be some other.
Yeah, right.
There's got to be some other protocol. No, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired. And this amiibo thing, they're so rare now. They're supposed to be what, $14, $15. They're going for $180. Go ahead and hack them. Go ahead and hack them because that's happening now too. Don't care.
Whoa.
Whoever's making these decisions, I don't care anymore. I'm not buying Nintendo ever again.
Well, it definitely seems like this quote-unquote manufactured scarcity that they're doing, kind of limiting their own products and kind of, I don't even know to what end because I don't think that they make any more profit off this. They get all, the public stirred up, but it's people really selling stuff that reap the benefits. I don't know why they would want to do that to their own customers.
Yeah, make more. Just make more of them. I mean, these are kids. This is a toy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry everybody hates the Switch.
It's a lifestyle.
Quit taking it out on everybody. Stop it.
In a little bit of real news, the Super Nintendo Classic was leaked this week to possibly be coming this holiday season like they did with the Classic last year. Are there any Super Nintendo games that you would love to see on that?
Super Metroid.
Yeah.
Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart.
Yep, I like the OG, not the N64 one. That one's too easy.
Boo.
I like.
Can't hit my rainbow.
I would
road
love to
shortcut.
see OG F-Zero. I would love to see some F-Zero. Link to the Past. And some Chrono Trigger. And if they threw Earthbound in there, I still wouldn't buy it, but I'd be like, that's tight.
Sticking to your guns.
Nintendo hate is real.
Yeah, Jesus, Jacob.
Feeling the vibe.
man. Worked up.
I am upset.
You're worked up, bud.
I am upset. Because I tried to get this NES Classic before Christmas. And it's Like, why? Why? I'm just going to go to the kiosk in the mall and buy the pirated one. You're done. You're done.
Give me the Retron.
Anyway, as far as this household, Nintendo, you're cast out.
Exile.
A little bit more news so that I don't keep barking in this microphone. Alex Jones style. I read some black helicopters. Some news on Last of Us 2. I don't know if y'all watch Westworld, but Miss Shannon Woodward, she plays Elsie.
Bernard!
Nice. Has just been confirmed to being added to the cast. And, that may be some old news, or this may be some old news, but Troy Baker's back. I didn't know if old Joel is going to be back. He's one of my favorite characters. He was in video game history. And Troy Baker himself, he's the voice of, did y'all play BioShock Infinite?
Oh, yeah.
He's the voice of old Booker in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just, the voice acting was tip-top in Last of Us. It is one of the main things that can just bring you into that incredibly hard, slow game.
Mm-hmm.
But
now, Shannon Woodward, she wasn't in the original Last of Us, is that right?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay.
She's a different character in this one.
Okay. Gotcha. She kind of looks like that girl.
Yeah, she does. I always thought the visual was supposed to be based on that girl from Inception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was her voice, too.
Which I think
she was,
looks like Shannon Woodward.
Oh, well, maybe I'm all mixed up. Anyways, I'm going to Google that real quick. And the last little bit, Brent, I've been talking a lot. Do you have any news for us, bud?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what to really call this, but I was just milling around the old internets, and I stumbled across this story that apparently one of the front runners for the presidency in South Korea released some custom maps for StarCraft on their official
moon
page.
Oh man, it's for the throwback StarCraft, dude.
Yeah, it just was such strange thing to hear that it's like politics really morphing with gaming. Like it's an obvious ploy to try to get some votes from some OG StarCraft players. That's so
guys.
it's
Let's
so
be honest. We know where Hillary Clinton messed up. If she would have offered custom Overwatch maps in her campaign, I would have voted for her. She would have won.
Yeah.
I want to call that like a real grass codes campaign or something, maybe.
Grass code.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, South Korea StarCraft is a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they
gaming
do.
is a thing. Over
Competitive
there.
gaming, yeah.
That's what
yeah.
we talked about last week. They have esports on television every day. That no one will bat an eye at that. They're like, oh yeah, the people watch it. So, it's not that strange if you really think about it. But I don't know. Just reading that article, it is
funny
a
though.
Political, fish, political worm on the end of a fish hook to try to get gamers. It's just kind of a strange thing.
It's an intriguing ploy, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they're looking at a flash election coming up here in the first week of May. Have y'all been hearing about what's been going on over there?
No.
The president just got impeached.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's the daughter of a former leader that had 2 assassination attempts on his life.
Mhm.
The first, they didn't get him, but they killed her mother.
Wow.
And then the second, they killed him. She was impeached because apparently there's a citizen that she had as a childhood friend that, during her time of grief after her father was assassinated, and she was technically an orphan, with a Korean Christian cult.
Whoa.
And this person left a tablet in an office, and on this tablet that was clearly hers, she had copies of presidential speeches and edits and omissions and things to say, and the public was outraged and they impeached the president.
Wow.
And so now they're looking at I mean, I don't want to go, this isn't like a, NPR show, but...
Oh, we're there.
Now it is.
We're there.
Well, there are 2 candidates. This fella is trying to get as many votes as he possibly can, because I think it's May 9th that this election's supposed to take place. But yeah, it seems like it'd be a cool idea. It's all over the internet.
I just thought he was
Tune
super
in next
into,
week for worldwide politics.
I just thought he was super
Yeah.
into StarCraft, and I was like, we'll get new custom maps if you elect me. at noon, everyone takes a 3-hour break and plays StarCraft. If I'm president,
Yep.
which
That
Grass
might
codes.
get me to play StarCraft. I'm not sure.
no, it's mandatory. You have to from 1 to 3 every day. Yeah,
I can dig it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What have we been playing this week, boys?
Well, I have been doing my usual. I know I sound like a broken record, but I put another 10 hours into Mass Effect,
Nice.
which that's been going great. Actually, on a sidecar to that, I've been using Beam a lot this week, and it's been working really well. That's a really cool service, and I hope to see that start to take off with viewers and stuff like that.
I have been watching you play on Beam. It's real smooth.
Yeah.
Real smooth.
It is.
I'm glad the game has picked up for you, man. I know you were getting a little antsy about it, a little fancy.
Well, it's long, man, and it's very slow development in your characters and very slow development, but they have big payoffs. So it's like, do I want to go down this side quest for 2 hours? Yeah, I will. But then when you get to the end of it, it's like, oh yeah, it was totally worth it. I'll do that 10 times.
Well, if you're beaming, let's get that gamer tag up again here, Scooter.
Yeah, you can check me out at Best Eagle Alive.
No spaces.
No spaces. You can watch on Xbox. You can watch, on your phone, on the app, or their website.
Binoculars through the blinds.
Yeah, dude. Windows are always open.
Good old analog.
But their website is beam.pro.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit odd, but it's got some really cool features. I'd check it out. It's gamified streaming. You earn points and level up for watching and or streaming. So it's a neat, little side thing to do.
Yeah, I got 5.
It's pretty smooth
I
too.
got 500 points just for watching you, Eagle. I was like, nice.
No problem.
Racking
I'll carry
up.
you.
Well, every time
anytime.
you sign on too, it sends me a nice little, and probably all your friends that have that turned on, a link, so you don't have to worry about weird, websites or different addresses that you used to. Check out that Beam. Go right to it.
It's real smooth. But other than that, I've been playing a good amount of Overwatch, as usual. Been checking out their new Uprising update that came out last week. Trying to get some loot boxes, some new skins. Loving it.
I have a question for you, sir.
Hit me. As
somebody who has a history of thunder dumping on for those at home, Eagle doesn't like the term poo-poo.
I don't.
I'm trying desperately to find. So known for verbally defecating on games without single-player campaigns. I see this PvE mode, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's I mean, I wouldn't call it a campaign, but just a little bit. I don't know. Tell me about that, bro.
Well, so
how'd that come out?
You're right. Your Overwatch is like a multiplayer only game. Really focusing on 6 versus 6 and a variety of objective style game modes. And no, there's no campaign. There's no story mode. Nothing like that. But they have done some cool stuff on the side, releasing comics and releasing these animated shorts that are really good to kind of give some backstory and lore around the universe. So, the public has been crying for, let me play a campaign, let me play some story. So, in Halloween, they put out something called Junkenstein's Revenge, in which you kind of fought waves of bots. And it was fun because it was something different. This one takes a little step further in that you play a mission, which if you're familiar with Tracer, she's the character on the cover of the box. You play through, this is her first mission with Overwatch, 7 years in the past before the events of Overwatch actually happen. So you play in a 4-player team with her, Reinhardt, Torbjorn, and Mercy through a variety of objectives on the King's Row map, which They throw a whole bunch of AI, different characters and stuff at you. Takes about 20, 30 minutes, different difficulties, and the legendary difficulty is almost impossible to beat. So there's a lot of replayability, and I think it's a really cool thing that they've done.
Huh.
Hell yeah.
Do you gain anything from doing this?
You get your normal XP.
Okay.
And in Overwatch, every time you level up with XP, you get a loot box.
Oh,
you can
right.
open that. That has some cosmetics and sprays and skins and stuff.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
no, I was just gonna say it's cool that they're trying different things. Who knows what they'll come up with next. It's hats off to them.
Yeah, it already seems more supportive than Destiny ever was.
Oh man.
Sorry.
And Overwatch,
at
everything's
the bar,
free.
2 beers. He's always got to bring up the X.
Sorry.
That's real, man.
It is. Not trying to, shoot turd bullets at Destiny, but come on.
I'm not gonna let you take this and turn it into a show about Destiny. Taint jarbling.
Well, so Jacob, you got a loot box of your own this week, didn't you?
Yeah. Speaking of loot box,
A non-digital one, huh?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I got a loot crate. Yay!
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
Yet.
Hit me
But,
up.
but call us if you want to.
The theme of this one is investigate, and this one's actually pretty cool. I'll go through it. Just a quirky Jessica Jones, popular on Netflix, collectible figurine came with it.
Yeah, she likes to smoke cigarettes and sleep with people.
Yeah, and kick down brick walls and hit people really hard. But
My kind of superhero.
Yeah. Introduce her to mom. But I also got the kind who don't bring home to mother. I got this Batman mug. Stop me.
I am the mug.
I get this Batman mug that has the Gotham City skyline. And when you put hot coffee in it or anything hot in it, it changes color. Joker gas envelops the city that's nice and green. And the Batman is needed, so the bat signal goes up.
Cool.
Okay.
Again, going with the investigation detective tip, one of the coolest things I've ever seen is this pack of X-Files pencils. Because, Mulder always used to stick them in the ceiling. Yeah. So you get a 5-pack of these number 2 pencils, and instead of what they normally have etched in them, you have these cool little quotes from the show, trust no one. Pardon me. Excuse me. The truth is out there. I want to believe. I've always wanted that poster. I know you can find it all over the place, but I've always really wanted one. And that's why they put the I in FBI. But
Nice.
Did you have a crush on Scully?
No. My first child, me and my girlfriend have decided will be named Fox Mulder, my last name.
Fox Mulder.
First name Fox, middle name Mulder. The thing that I am most excited about is the T-shirt that they sent with it. It is a Stranger Things T-shirt, and there is a scarce amount of official merchandise for Stranger Things. Not sponsored by them either, but I'm going to plug them.
Yet.
Everybody loves their show for the most part. Holler at us. And
yeah, Stranger Things. If you want to advertise on here, you can reach us at edgystances@gmail.com.
Ooh.
yeah,
That's
holler baller. And that goes for all the yous out there too.
Well, that's a cool loot box. Do you enjoy getting those? They're come monthly?
Yeah, I love them all. They each have their own. Man, it's getting crazy too. It used to be just the loot box format. Now they have different themes to make sure that you really get some cool stuff. Gamer specific things, I think anime specific things. You can even just get the socks. You can get a loot socks box, and
Loot
they
socks
give you
box.
pairs of socks. Yeah, dude, rocks and Knox and Mom's
Top
spaghetti.
notch.
But
That's cool.
oh man, you derailed me, bud. Forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, the socks box and T-shirts alone. Just anyway, it's not a Loot Crate sponsored show, so y'all gotta do your own work on that until they hit us up. edgystances@gmail.com.
Yeah. Well, what have you been playing this week, Mr. Jake?
Oh, me? I was bad.
You.
I was bad. I started all these new games, but I know I had Uncharted 4, but whatever. I don't know, man. I got Horizon Zero Dawn, and I was just itching, and I decided to open it up, and holy buckets.
Speaking of
awesome.
investigate, I want to know what that story's all about, man. Seems intriguing.
It is, and I'm not letting myself spoil it for myself. Plus, it's so new that people don't really have a lot of wikis put up or anything like that yet. So,
True.
I haven't had to go to the internet to help pass anything at all. Though it is a challenge, and that's what I really, really like about this. That's what I really, really enjoy about this, because it's it really plays like a Far Cry or just another one of those open world games, but streamlined. if
Yeah.
that makes any sense. It's like, you drive in your car every day, and then you go on that vacation, and you get the rental car, right? And they're like, dude, we don't have any more rental cars, and then you pretend to be mad until they give you the next step up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you get in that car, and you're just like, oh, man, there's a button here and a button here for this. What I'm saying, end of the day, is that, like, it's this open world experience, extremely streamlined. And it's a real pleasure to play. Everything's really easy to understand. There's a lot of information, but you can toggle your missions on and off, just helping you get through it. And some of the most stunning color I have seen in a game as of yet.
Now, just to make sure I'm right, you're on the PS4, the refreshed Slim version, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the quote-unquote PS4 is Slim, but that's just the way they are now.
Right.
Yeah, I watched some comparisons on it on the Pro and then just the regular old PS4, and I mean the Pro definitely makes that game. I mean, it's already a really pretty game, but man, on the 4, it's noticeably different.
Yeah, I mean, it
4K
better
graphics.
be for all
Yeah,
those
right,
for those PS4 Pro owners out there. You got me, but you paid for it,
Yeah.
so hats off to you.
That's
and,
real.
Despite that, you can still see everything. It's crystal clear, and these enemies, this approach is just great.
Yeah,
And it's
I mean,
Dinobots and all that, but
and I saw some cool stuff. I did a little research, just watching some of it, watching some streams and videos, and one of the cool things that I saw was kind of these almost like boss fights that you kind of come across fighting these. They're like machine dinosaurs, right? Or are they just kind of machine
I've
animals?
only seen yes, yeah, and they take on many different forms. They're not just, I've seen a lot of them that are based on regular animals, and then I've seen ones that are based on just different things. So far, I'm at kind of the smaller ones. The most difficult ones for me as of yet are what's called Sawtooth,
Yeah.
which is a little bit bigger saber-tooth tiger type concept, and they're nuts because you can't just pink them with arrows. Like you have to aim, you have to know where to shoot. They all have weaknesses to elements, and you're not going anywhere if you don't pay attention to that. So I don't understand how people would think that's difficult, but I don't have much more patience or I mean I don't, not for the game, but for some of the reviews that I've heard on it, especially on other podcasts I've listened to saying it's too hard and they're clowning it. I don't have patience for mistakes made by people like that. Like it's all there in front of you. Slow down, aim your arrow, research who you have to kill first. It's not just people. You get what I'm saying? You're not happening upon a camp with a bunch of people. Like, you really have to slow down. And where I'm at right now, I can't take out a Sawtooth without being clever.
Yeah.
I have to set traps, and if I have the high ground, I'll just walk around it, honestly. If I don't have the high ground, excuse me. Like, I'm just not powerful.
I would just kind of avoid the fight.
And the crafting is pretty cool. Just some interesting approaches to things. One thing that really kind of disappointed me about Final Fantasy 15 was that it had a great map, but it was pointless because you just fast traveled everywhere.
Rode around in my sweet car.
In this game. Yeah, indeed. But even that got old.
I mean, you couldn't even drive it. Don't get me started. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, I know. And, no spoily doilies on Final Fantasy for those who haven't completed it. You do get a little bit more freedom in that car in an epic way. So, stick with
the
it.
F-type regalia, pretty badass.
Yeah. Fucking awesome is what F stands for in F-type. Play through the game. If y'all haven't played it yet, play through it listening out there. It's great. But you'll see what I'm talking about with this beautiful map, and then you rather just fast travel, but they give you that freedom everywhere. In Horizon, you have animals around you, and these are the things that you're using. Like, if you want to fast travel, it takes an approach like you're preparing provisions for a long journey. So you have to get a certain amount of meat, a certain amount of sticks, things like that, and then you can craft a fast travel kit, and that's what you burn to go to another bonfire. Campfire, excuse me.
Oh,
That's very Far Cry-ish.
Yeah, indeed. And this, this takes that approach that like Far Cry Primal did so well, where they just made you feel so small in a world that is dangerous and would be fine without you, and that's really cool.
Well, it's interesting to just like you said, when you see a sawtooth, if you're not equipped or want to battle it, having the thought to say, maybe I shouldn't even engage this. Is there another way around? Instead of a game like, a Call of Duty or something where it's like, reload, I'm going in. Like I'm just going to wipe out everything.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to be there a while. And you're going to be expending all of your arrows. You don't get them back when you respawn. You got to go pick more trees, make more stuff. And chances are, if it's there, like it's showing a couple of its hands right off the bat. Like, if I come across something and there's an encampment of a couple sawtooths, there's something there that they're guarding.
Yeah.
Right.
Not lore wise, like they're there to guard that, but
like a collectible or.
Yeah, that's how the placement works. So if they're there, there's something good there. And I love that stuff, especially in this game, which is a running theme to me. I'm not an English major. I don't, I just know what I know out of these stories, what I can pull. Discovery seems to be the theme for this, and I eat that up. I've traveled a lot in my life. I love going to a new place that I know nothing about and just learning with every new step that I take in that place. Just learning. I am the worst person to go to the museum with because I have to read everything. And this game kind of caters to that.
Yeah.
They don't tell you what's on the map right away. You have to happen upon some things. And I don't know if it was a quip that I made on the show last time, but it's something that I've been kind of throwing around lately. Some of these games are taking this like post-apocalyptic genre approach, and it's interesting because you're walking around and you're finding, they call them ruins and this and that, but you're finding shopping malls.
Yeah.
Oh, like from our time period?
Yeah, present day shopping malls.
Because this game happens way off in the future, right?
Allegedly.
Yeah, and well, from the information that I'm putting together, like I found a data pad that had a podcast on it.
Cool.
And it's
was it
talking
ours?
About, no, unfortunately. I hope that's not a bad omen. I hope we make it to Aloy's day. But,
well, you as a listener, help us out. Leave a review.
Yeah, rate and review. Yeah, hey.
Sorry, but go on.
They're dropping names like China. Capitalism. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is definitely like
so
the future.
Some social commentary, stuff.
Yeah, so it is Earth, and it is another time in Earth, and it's got this spookiness about it, and don't know where these machines have come from just yet. And I'm more in the spoily doilies section. I could go on forever about it though. The music. Jeez, I don't know what's been going on with my speaking skills lately, but it's been pretty terrible.
Don't feel bad.
Terrible.
I love it.
Hey, have you messed around with the little camera guy in it? Taking any stills of just like some pretty landscapes and just really nature in a weird way? Stop and taking a picture?
A little bit. You can find me at Best Jacob Alive 3 if anybody wants to look at my Horizon photography.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's
I
up
see
there.
them all over Twitter, with the share feature and stuff. There's some really cool pictures coming out of that. If nothing else, it is a just stunningly gorgeous game.
Yeah, it is the sun. Well, there's a day and night cycle, and the world will be just pink, and it changes. It's not the same every time. So it'll be different sunsets. The world will just turn pink, and then the next time it'll just be all blue, and then there's twilight, and some nights it'll be raining, and everything will be this cool green. I don't know, just really impressive and a lot of fun. A lot of fun to play through. It's pretty addictive.
That's pretty tight, man.
Yeah.
Like it. I wish it was available on all platforms because I would definitely try it.
Yeah, I know. I'm itching to play it so
Almost
bad.
I don't know if is it just PlayStation or is it out on PC? That's more Brent's expertise. PC Master Race over here.
Yeah, it's done by Guerrilla Games. They're inside
the
of
Time
Sony.
Splitter guys, right? Or is it Killzone?
Killzone. Yep.
Killzone. Yeah, I always get those mixed up.
Yep. So it's cool to see that they did something really special.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Speaking of PC, Mr. Brent, do you have anything going for us this week in that world?
I haven't been playing many games lately. Last night I was gonna start a new run of Dark Souls. If that's surprising to anyone, I'm gonna play some Dark Souls, and I I want to try to Twitch it. I got better internet, and I just want to see how that goes and see if anyone cares to watch me bumble through Dark Souls in my own kooky way I find it fun to. So yeah, I might do that. But other than that, I haven't been playing much lately.
Mm-hmm. Toy.
Yeah, it's been packed full of nothing. I'm sitting here wanting to play Bloodborne, and Horizon. I just don't have a PS4.
Yeah. Well, one thing, I got you, man. Well, I'll go back to Horizon then a little bit. One thing that I found that I thought was pretty cool was I suddenly remembered there was a large dinosaur-ish creature that I encountered, more like a giraffe. It's called a tall neck, and this is kind of how they revealed the items on the map, on the world map, much like the towers in Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
You climb to the top of these, and I thought that was a really cool way, albeit just a new way of doing the same kind of thing. But
really kind
cool
of
way to tackle that.
When we were talking about this earlier this week, Jacob and I kind of had that thought of a interesting way of tackling, the tower problem, if you will. This is something that tons of games do, and it's cool to see a game, try a little bit different take. And it sparked a little bit of conversation between us of some other games that have kind of done that, to us personally over the years, of taking something like a normal convention in games and changing it a little bit to give a fresh take on it. So do you guys want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. You brought up, is it Breath of the Wild? I like that way the most that I've seen so far. And Mad Max had a new way of doing that too. Do you recall that? Like you would have
with
to
the
look
balloons?
through your binoculars. Yeah, balloons. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Good call.
Yeah, well, Breath of the Wild, released a couple months ago, and it was a really cool take in that there are towers scattered around the map, but when you climb this tower, it doesn't necessarily populate a whole bunch of waypoints around you of all the camps and collectibles. You have to take out your binoculars, you have to look at your map and say, okay, I want to put a marker here, go to this camp, this looks cool over here, I bet there's some cool loot here, or stuff like that, instead of just like Horizon does it, hacking the map, plunk, a big chunk unlocks there. So yeah, I think that's cool, and Mad Max was a really good example as well. Yeah,
with that weather balloon type approach, because it was starting to get a little stale for me. Not picking on Ubisoft, but they do games like Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed does have that in common. It get a little formulaic. Like I had a roommate I remember that really enjoyed the Assassin's Creed games specifically, and he played them a certain way with this tower setup. He would go through the entire map first.
Yeah.
On all these Assassin's Creed games and just unlock every tower.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would go through and begin scooping everything up.
I play very similar, like in Far Cry and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't like doing it like that, even though I do end of the day because it's there, and I like how Horizon kind of controls what you're doing. But I do understand that like I love seeing something new happen and just a new way of doing this quote unquote same old thing. Do you have any examples for us, Eagle? I got a couple examples if y'all want to talk about it. But
totally,
what do you got, bud?
Yeah, like one pretty recently, and to preface this whole entire conversation, I understand that these are not the first times these have been done in games. They were just, personal things that I noticed as I was playing through. But like The Division by Ubisoft this year was a really cool take on the HUD. They put a lot of information like right on your player's backpack.
That.
Yeah, it was
I loved that.
It didn't cover up the border of the, nice, beautiful screen. It was just kind of all right on your backpack, your abilities and your weapons and ammo and stuff. I thought that was really innovative.
One thing to kind of like, knock the old tennis ball back on you. Do y'all remember playing Army of Two?
Yeah.
Totally. Drag me to safety.
I remember back in the old Halo days that we would grind and we would yell at each other, A, B, F, bud, always be flanking. And
that was me, bro.
For sure. And it was cool that Army of Two kind of took that and embraced it and turned it into a mechanic. So much so that that's what they specifically taught you to do in the tutorial.
Yeah, it was like leave this character here. You need to go over here, to get a better shot on a high ground or around the side for a different flank.
Yeah, just the concept of aggro.
Mm-hmm. It was actually built into the game. That was really cool.
For sure. And I know we're getting off topic in the sense of like towers and such, but I mean another one that I have is what's that? Do y'all remember Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, the third in the series?
Of course.
When they introduced that spies versus mercs mode,
Mm-hmm.
that blew my mind. That was awesome. For those who don't know, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, that intro started this multiplayer type where you could be a spy or you can be a mercenary. And if you're a spy, you're doing a lot of the same, ninja-ing that you would do through normal Splinter Cell, but with more limited weaponry and equipment. And you had your own type of goals. It was an asymmetrical experience. You had to download the data or whatevs. But if you're a mercenary, you're on the other side. The game took this surprising turn in the sense that it turned into a first-person shooter. And not only that, like a really kind of fun one, too, with the equipment that you got as a mercenary to detect movement and low light and quick turns and all that fun stuff. So that really blew my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I that still lives on. I mean, even in Blacklist, they still continued that on, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, it can, double agent and then into Blacklist. I forget if Conviction had it. I don't think Conviction had it, but it came back with Blacklist.
Right. I remember playing that. It was fun.
Hours and hours.
Yeah,
of
they're all fun to me. Oh yeah.
Well, another example for me, which I'm sure both of you guys and I'm sure a great amount of the listeners are familiar with, is the skulls in the Halo games.
Yeah.
Oh.
For me, that was one of those things in which collectibles are always cool. But collectibles in a game like Halo, forcing you to use mechanics like rocket jumping, rocket jumping is not something you need to do to beat this game.
Yeah.
It's not something they show you or anything like that. But you play enough Halo, you know that that's a thing to get to higher places, grenade jumping and rocket jumping. Yep. And, they placed the bandana skull in Halo 3 to where you can't reach that unless you rocket jump.
Yep.
That's it's an interesting thing for the developer to kind of nod at the community like, yeah, we see you guys, we know.
Yeah, I mean, like in Halo 2, you had to glitch out of the map to get to the Scarab gun, to get like the giant soccer ball down. That's not.
They hid that stuff.
Yeah,
in
like
there.
the game is not meant to be played that way, but the things are there for you to be able to reach them. I loved finding the skulls in Halo.
Yeah, they reward the curious. I remember getting the blind skull just to practice sniping. Just learning where the reticule is at all times, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, like what was it called? Butterflying, where you could
with
sword
the sword,
canceling, and you could climb out of the multiplayer maps and everything too. Yeah, man.
Dude got so good at that and super jumping.
Yeah, super jumps.
What was that all about?
I don't know. Some
How
crazy
does that?
glitch.
It's some BXR going on? Are we just going to go Halo glitches?
That's just cheating.
And I'm cross-eyed. If you BXB me, I will turn my Xbox off, you cheater. Cootie queen.
But yeah, that was those skulls in Halo, like, again, that wasn't the first time collectibles had been hidden like that, but for me as a player, that was really a big part of my childhood. Growing up, messing around with things like that. I always loved that thing.
If we're going to talk about older games, one that blew my mind was, and it's way old news, but Metal Gear's approach with the Psycho Mantis fight and finding Meryl's frequency on the back of the game box.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
I mean, what other game do you have to unplug your controller from player 1 and plug it into player 2 to continue this fight? That was crazy.
That was gnarly. Gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched my buddy actually do that fight, and when he finally figured it out, when did that game come out? In like 97?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I mean,
probably.
I was a kid.
Way back when.
I was a child. I was like 7 years old, and when he finally figured that out, that blew my mind so much. I mean, I was like almost too young to really understand Metal Gear, but yeah, that was crazy. The Psycho Mantis fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and other games that did that for me is like Rush. The games. I think they're arcade games and Nintendo 64 games. They're racing, have collectibles hidden around the map. But Rush 2049 came out, and it gave you the ability to put wings on your car, and all of a sudden these racing levels are now vertical as well. You can fly. Collectibles are hidden on top of buildings, not around the sides of them, and that was something that blew my young mind.
It's crazy.
But,
I mean, if we're speaking of, still talking about the older games, there was one for this one's really obscure. It's called Vagrant Story. It was put out back in the day when Squaresoft was Squaresoft. It was pretty big at the time. I remember it being advertised during wrestling shows and stuff.
The biggest of games are always on the wrestling shows.
I mean, they gotta be.
That's your barometer out there.
But the weapon crafting in that alone was pretty cool. I mean, you had to find a workshop, and you put together a hammer and an axe, and then you get a katana blade. And
that's how that works.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of mash them together. You throw them in a bag, and you just kind of swing the bag around, and then you have a katana blade. But what I'm really getting at is the fighting system in that game. You would, depending on the weapon, it had a different range. And not only that, but a shape to that range that the weapon could take. Naturally an arrow, bow and arrow, if you equip, or a crossbow, when you equip that, you come across an enemy, you press your attack button, everything freezes, and a giant grid comes out of you. And in the case of, say, a bow and arrow, it's like a cylinder shape that extended from you in a finite direction depending on its range. And anything within that grid space, or that grid shape, would get a different percentage and of chance and of hit points being diminished. Just really complicated for a PlayStation game, and I really like that a lot. That was cool.
Yeah,
I mean, that is neat, and hopefully developers and game makers worldwide will continue to innovate like this, and keep the hooks in us. Just to bring it back around to a little bit current news stories and stuff. I had one of our listeners, Eric, asked me, to look into the racing scene in games a little bit. And, Gran Turismo is a long-running PlayStation franchise that has a new installment coming out soon called GT Sport. And one of the, kind of quirky, but, I guess you'd call it innovative things is if you meet some prerequisites in this game, certain races and things that you do, you can actually earn yourself a real-life motorsport license.
That is insane.
It is insane.
How does that even work?
Well, I mean, you can get a degree digitally now, so...
Yeah, but...
Yeah, I mean...
I just feel like if you go to the DMV and you're like, yeah, I need my license, and, you have to do the test, and you just, pull up your, YouTube... no, see?
Baby,
right
type
here.
this in. Mr. Doo-Doo Man.
Have you seen my lap time on
who I
Spa
am?
GP?
Do you not see my Twitch shirt that I have on?
And she's watching. She's like, ooh, dang, you took that corner so hard.
They call
Here's
me
your license.
How does this work? I don't know if I trust this.
Clearly, you're a master of physics in large machines.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's some interesting stuff coming.
Yeah.
It's who knows what's next. Who knows what's around the corner, and
that's based on our first listener question, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Kermit arms. Yeah,
they're real. There are people out there.
Yeah, there's somebody listening. They're not just numbers. Somebody asked us a question, and y'all can ask us too.
Please, any topics or things. Yes. What was that one more time? I talked over it.
Well, I didn't want to talk too much over your point about talking about answering the listener question. Obviously, we're too excited to handle this correctly, and hopefully we'll tighten it up. It's my fault. It's awesome to get a little bit of feedback. But that's edgystances@gmail.com, or talk to us at our handle bestcastalive for our Twitter, which we're launching because we want to make some friends.
Yeah, join us there, and like I said earlier, any topics, anything that you guys want to hear about, or if you have a thought or opinion on something, let us know. We can chat about that on the show, hash it out. If you're one of the 4 or 5 people that are excited for Code Vein, let me know. I wanna see what's up with you. Take a deep dive into your head.
One more thing that I wanted to ask about, speaking of innovation, I did almost forget about Brent brought this up to me. I was hoping we would talk about it earlier with the PC talk, but he sent me a picture of this monitor, and I haven't quite been able to wrap my head around it because it looks like a monitor from the front, but you turn it around, and it's like wearing like a Ghostbusters backpack or something. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Brent, please explain this picture to me.
Well, I mean, it's what you're looking at. It's a 34-inch, I believe, super wide monitor, and you're like, hey, that's a pretty cool monitor. Yeah, and then you turn it around.
Yeah, that's a good mid-range monitor, you know.
You take off the plastic shell, and you see that you have an entire PC in the back of it, and not just a PC, a pretty hefty, gaming PC.
Like functional?
Fully.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But like just for decoration.
Way better of a PC than I have.
I'm sorry.
I'll just say that.
Like, remember the cardboard computers they used to have at like furniture stores when you were going to look for like entertainment centers? They put in like big cardboard monitors.
Yeah, even like the cardboard mouse and keyboards and everything.
Yeah, there was everything looked like it was out of Minecraft because everything was.
But it still ran Doom.
For sure had MS Paint on it.
Well, who makes this, Brent? What is it all about?
It's a company called Digital Storm, and this particular one that I sent you is called the Aurora, I believe. But yeah, this thing has a at the lowest end has a GTX 1060, and at the highest end GTX 1080. Those are the graphics cards. Intel.
Yeah, those are the big boys.
Yeah, Intel Core i7s, either again lowest 7700 or at the highest 6800K, and I mean that's like some serious hardware. I mean that's top of the line.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It sounds like you need to play some Gran Turismo GT before you can get your license to operate those whatever you just described to me.
Yeah,
bud.
so if anybody even knows what I'm saying, you know that these are really serious computers. And, you know, these are really expensive. The highest end, it's going to run you like $3,500, and the lowest about $2,500. And, you know that you can pretty much build a PC and save money, not spend all of that. But then, you have to buy your monitor, but this one is all there. And this is just exciting.
It's kind of interesting that it's all built in.
Yeah.
Is that like meant to be portable or anything like that?
Yeah, it's exciting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really call it portable because they're coming in at around 50 pounds. They say anywhere from at least 45 to 55 pounds. I mean, which, isn't the heaviest thing in the world. You can carry it, but you're not really going to throw it in a backpack. It's a pretty big thing-ish.
Yeah, right.
It's still pretty cool to see. It's smaller, though, because maybe one day we'll have computer backpacks. Just that constant drive to make things smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
And have fully functional PCs on our persons, like besides, I guess, our phones, aka digital assistants.
Yeah, I mean, these have been really, seeing this kind of blew my mind, quite honestly. I want one so very bad, but it's so expensive. But another thing, kind of in this compact, fully, gaming PC, is another thing that MSI just released. It's called a Trident 3, which is basically that same exact thing I just said from...
Brick, where'd you get a Trident?
You better lay low.
So basically, what Digital Storm made by putting that entire PC in, just basically a backplate of a monitor, MSI has done, but crammed it into, they say it's a little bigger than a PS4 now, but smaller than the original Xbox One. So basically the same exact computer, but in the size of a console. And that's really cool to me, just because like my PC is enormous compared to a PS4 or an Xbox. So like they're cramming all this technology in smaller and smaller places, and this is kind of reminding me of what we kind of talked about with Scorpio. That I just feel like eventually we're just gonna have PCs, and I just see it going.
I hope so. I hope so, because I'd rather have something modular like that I can keep up with and upgrade myself. But with the way games are being put out now, console and console generations kind of control that, because it's like what's what's a pipe without the crack,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
and that's
Paraphernalia according to the law.
and that's one thing I forgot to mention
What?
about both of these is they're completely upgradable. They're future proof. The only thing really that you're going to run into is you're probably not going to want to, or you probably won't be able to change out the motherboards in either one of them. But you can change the RAM, GPU, CPU. I mean, as long as the your graphics card is small enough to fit in either one of these cases. But at the same exact time, the graphics cards that these have in them natively are huge. They're massive graphics cards, top of the line.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the 1080 in the back of the screen, and it's taking up like 20% of everything.
Yeah. So, but you can, whenever there's a GTX 5000, instead of a 1080, you can throw that one in there as long as it's the same dimensions. And
it looks like one of those giant hand soap dispensers at a sink at a restaurant or something,
Yeah.
just sticking out of the back of the TV.
But yeah, I
That's
brought
real,
this
but-
up to you guys. So, like, how do you feel about that? I mean, seeing these things, I mean, obviously they're very expensive, anywhere from $4,000 to $1,000 at least. At least the Trident 3 is $1,000. And hey, if money doesn't mean anything to you, go for it, buy them. But what do you guys think? Like, does this make you excited to possibly see, the PCs, I don't know, kind of coming into the house a little more easily? Do you guys think you could be PC gamers in the next, I don't know, let's say 5 years?
Well, I think it's it kind of depends on where things go. Like Microsoft is putting a lot of eggs in their Scorpio basket.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see where things shake out with that. But yeah, as things, for instance, Microsoft doing their Play Anywhere titles, allowing you to play them on Xbox or Windows 10, they're really muddying the waters between like these console generations. So, if you give me the ability to get, upgrade my console with some better RAM, some better memory, stuff like that to keep it current as tech improves, I think that's great. But with that comes headaches of drivers and compatibility issues that can be a headache as well. So, it's tough
Because
to hash that out.
Yeah.
I agree with you, because I think in that situation you run the risk of having video game makers start running the technology around. Where, we have these platforms now, and that kind of keeps everyone corralled in with their specs.
Yeah.
But the more that you push these higher upgraded systems, and you got to just, again, if we're going to talk about the Scorpio, it's hard to justify a new console generation and the money spent on it unless you start talking this computer, this PC master race language, which is talking computers, and it's going to be just a matter of time before people finally realize that a console is just a dedicated PC.
Yeah.
And they're going to blur those lines, and I think the console might. I don't know what might happen.
I mean that, yeah. That's
I just don't know why it's still a thing. Why it's still separate. I don't know why there's not a Google box yet or an Apple box.
Yeah, that's why I said this feels like the death of consoles. I mean, because the lines are being blurred. I mean, more and more, especially just seeing all this. I feel like it is.
Well, it all comes down to the games, because again, like what is the paraphernalia without the
yeah, but
the
I mean,
because the consoles being a thing bottleneck developers into making their games to certain specs.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and whereas
it
if
is
it's not
also
controlled by that, it'll be all over the place, and you'd have to upgrade your stuff for one game versus a wide array of them for the next 5 years.
It is one thing though to give the developers like the least amount of SKUs as possible. Naughty Dog creating Last of Us 2 is going to be developing this for PS4 Pro, and maybe the next PS4, like PS5, depending on how long that takes. But if you have them having to make it for the GTX 1080, the GTX 1060, the Radeon 480, optimize it for all of these PC components, how long is that going to add to their development time? And is the quality going to
Some
suffer?
don't perform as good as others either.
Right? Yeah.
but I mean, at the same exact time, you see plenty of games that have been out for years now, and they're being able to be ran at their native resolutions on PCs, but they're stuck, so far behind. Not too much, but they're definitely scaled back on the consoles. Like their native frame rates and everything is unlocked on the PC, which it's locked on consoles. I don't know.
I just don't think without the consoles it would matter because they wouldn't sell. In the climate that we're in right now, I'm not debating which. I'm not.
Yeah, again, that's what I was saying. Like maybe
better,
5 years down the road, could you see more people going this way?
I think it's a lot more than just a decision.
Of course.
I think consoles are positioning themselves to be entertainment center hubs now. And for Microsoft to acknowledge that, it's the same as a console, they're already kind of doing that with these the shared dashboard to Windows 10 look, and then the Play Anywhere games, they might be having to shut down a whole division in the next 5 years and just work on computers. But basically these are computer companies that try and push out this affordable-ish hardware.
Yeah.
Write us in, send us some emails, send us a Twitter. What do y'all think? Let us know. I don't think we're gonna do. I don't want to cut you off, Brent, but man,
please,
we're running out of
fine.
time. I don't think we're gonna do a spoily doily section this week. Do you have some spoily doilies for us?
I want to hear spoily doily.
I'm
wrapped up in a robe.
A long time.
Eating an apple.
The good people have things to do, and I'll come at you next week with a little bit more on Horizon Zero Dawn, and spoily doily the hell out of that.
Yeah.
After I get a little bit more time with it too, and again, we're running a little long this week. Everybody want to say where we can find them one more time?
Yes, you can find me at Best Eagle Alive pretty much on all platforms. Check me out on Xbox or Beam. I should be trying to stream with some regularity, so check me out there.
Streaming and beaming, bud.
Streaming and beaming. Yeah, hopefully I will be having a stream up on Twitter soon enough. On Twitch. But you can also find us on Twitter.
Yeah, Best Cast Alive.
Yep.
Or just type us in BloodShot Eyes, Sore Thumbs Podcast.
Will pop up. Me on my Twitch, I believe, is AWBS88, or Mr. Doodoo Man on Xbox. That's no spaces, and Mr. is spelled out.
Yeah, and let me reiterate one last time. I'm Best Jacob Alive 2 on Xbox platform, Best Jacob Alive 3 on PS3. I know that's silly, but tune in for last episode because I am a goof, and you will hear why. And I don't want to be a goof-a-crit and goof on anybody when I am, in fact, a goof. But you can find us
Goofy
there.
movie.
Any more questions, anything that you want to talk to us, please shoot us an email. edgystances@gmail.com. Hit up our Twitter. Look at our website, edgystances.squarespace.com. Please tell a friend, and we can use those ratings and reviews to get up on iTunes and just to propel ourselves. And we just want to make some friends. We want to talk to y'all.
Thank you for
anything
listening.
else, boys?
No, that's all I got.
Thank you very much. Again, no spoiler section today because we've been running long. Appreciate everybody, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
And have the best day you've ever had.
The best day of your life.
Ever.
Yeah. Stay ambered.